So yes, good morning students. Today we are about to start our second lesson on diversity in living organisms. This chapter, right? So in this lesson, we have included many different pictures and many different activities, and I hope you will enjoy this. So let's move on to our first picture. So yes, what you can observe and which plant you can observe in this picture. Okay, yes, you can write it in the comment box below. Yes, as you can see here, these are the climbers. Yes, you all answered it correctly. These are the climbers. So how are climbers usually in shape? Like this, right? They go upwards, in upwards direction. So as you all have seen that most of the plants are like attached to the root part, right? And they have a root, and like usually they don't look like climbers. So why do you think what made climbers to climb up different trees towards upwards? So what do you think what made climbers look different? Okay, yes, like it adapted to its environment. Okay, yes, very good. What else? What else? Like it needed support, so its shape got like that. Yes, very good. So yes, you all answered it correctly. So now we will see. Now, the topic that we are about to study is, let's move on to our topic, that is classification and evolution. So this is the topic that we are going to study, like how the organisms are classified on the basis of the evolution they took place. That took place in them. So coming on to our next slide, what you can see in this slide. Yes, like there are variety of organisms. Yes, very good. You can write your answers in the chat box. Yes, as you can see, there are variety of organisms. Organisms here means we are just talking about those plants. So these are different types of plants. Some have bark and some don't have bark in them. Some have soft stems, right? Some have different types of flowers. They have different colors, different shapes. So these are the different characteristics, and they have evolved with time, right? That's why they all look different, because they have lived different conditions. So this is one of the reason of evolution. So let's see. Now comes the curiosity question. Okay, so let's see the curiosity question, what it is. So yes, coming to the curiosity question, why do we evolve? What do you think is the main reason behind why do we evolve? Okay, yes, I can see that some of you are writing your answers in the chat box. Yes, very good. So why do we evolve? Okay, so that we can adjust to our surroundings and we can live for a longer period of time. Yes, very good. So as you know, like here you can see the example of a giraffe, right? The giraffe is having such a long neck. So why is it having a long neck? Maybe its ancestors were living in such areas where there was lesser grass on the small height and there were more grass on the longer height. So maybe for eating the grass, they may have attempted, and this may have led to an evolution in their neck. It can be a theory, right? So this certain habits, and if repeated for a longer period of time, may lead to the evolution of an organism. So this was all about evolution. So we will now move on ahead and see a question on it. Okay. So now there is a question, you have to state true or false, right? So first question is, classification can also be done on the basis of evolution. It is true or false? Yes, you can write your answers in the chat box. Yes, I can see the right responses. Yes, it is true, as we just saw. And coming to the second question, organisms can evolve in 30 days, just 30 days. Is it possible or not? Okay, it is not possible, not in 30 days. Evolution takes a longer period of time, sometimes a million years it takes. So it takes a longer period of time, not just 30 days. So yes, you all answered it correctly. So now we will move on ahead and see some more details about diversity in living organisms, right? So now there is a small activity that we all have to do. What we have to do is, in front of you, there are various animals and you have to match these animals with their habitat, right? Okay, so yes, you have to match them. Come on. Okay, so first I will speak up the name of the animal and then you have to name the habitat, okay? So then we will match it. So yes, you can write your answers in the chat box. So tiger belongs to which habitat? Yes, it belongs to the land. Yes, very good. So now we have matched it. So this is what? This is an insect. Okay, which insect it is? Yes, it is a butterfly. So in which habitat does this butterfly belong to? Yes, yes, in air. Very good. What about this octopus? Octopus is belonging to which habitat? Okay, yes, it is belonging to the water. What about elephant? Elephant is belonging to the land. Okay, what about the fish? Fish belong to the water. Yes, very good. What about the bird? It belongs to the air. So yes, you all answered it correctly. So there will be a clapping for you all. Okay, so now we will see some more details that what we are about to study. You will get a hint from this now. Okay, so yes, moving on ahead. Okay, so now this is a map of India. Okay, so one of the student will come and tell me in which state or which state, from which state they belong to, right? Okay, so yes, any one of you can volunteer. Yes. Okay, so you said that you are from Uttarakhand. Okay, very good. And from Uttarakhand, in which city you are living? In Haldwani. Okay, very good. And in Haldwani also, which place you are located? Which in which place you are living? In which colony? Okay, you are living in Milliam Colony. Yes, very good. And which what is your house number there? Your house number is 36. So I asked some question to the student, to a particular student, and what did you all notice? What did I ask? Okay, you can answer in the chat box. Yes, first I asked the bigger location, then I went more specific about the location, right? So in the same way, the plants and animals, the information about them also goes on like this. From broader information, we go to the narrower information. So let's see what that is called as. That will be our next topic. What it is called as the hierarchy of classification or the groups, right? So we are going to study about this. So now coming on to our next topic, next slide. So this is a scientist named as Robert Harding Whittaker. He gave the classification of different organisms, and what were the main five categories he gave were plants, animals, fungi, protists, and Monera. So these were the different classifications he gave of organisms. And in plants, which all organisms are coming? Eukaryotic, multicellular, they photosynthesize, they are non-motile, means they don't move, and they are sexually reproductive. They sexually reproduce. Now animals, what were the features of animals? Like they were eukaryotic, they were multicellular, they ingest, right? They take in food, and they are motile, means they move from one place to another, and they also sexually reproduce. Now, what about the fungi? What type of organism fungi is having? Eukaryotic, multicellular. They absorb food, and they are non-motile. They don't move from one place to another, and they are also sexually reproducing. Now, coming on to the protista. Protista classification. What are the specific features of it? Like it is eukaryotic, unicellular. It can be multicellular also, and it absorbs or ingests. And photosynthesize means some plants are also there in protista, and they are sexual and asexual both. The reproduction can be seen. Okay, in Monera, let's see Monera. What are the types of organisms that are coming in Monera? They are both prokaryotic. They are prokaryotic. They absorb and photosynthesize, means there are plants also, and they are motile or they can be non-motile. So they can move and some of them cannot move, and they are asexual in reproduction. So this was all the details about Robert Harding Whittaker's classification of organisms. Right? So now we will move ahead. So if you have any doubt, you can write in the chat box. Then we will move on ahead. Okay. So yes, I think there is no doubt. Okay, so now we will move on ahead. So let's see a question, right? So what is not the classification of Whittaker? Monera, protista, fungi, or class? Yes, you have to write your answers in the chat box, and then we will discuss the right answer after 5 seconds. So yes, I can see you all are giving the right responses. It is class. Okay, So what is the classification given by Carolus Linnaeus? You have to find out the answer for this question, and then you have to answer it in the comment box, right? And now we will move on to our last topic for today. And it is also very small topic, but very interesting topic. So the topic is, now we will see what we will study, right? Okay. There are just pictures, you will enjoy it. Okay? So yes, what you can see in these pictures, your favorite food. So yes, it is a pizza. Yes, very good. What else? What else you can see? There is cheese, there is curd. So yes, how many of you like to eat these things? Like mostly everyone likes to eat it, right? Okay. So as you like all these things, so what do you think? Like these things are made up of what? This cheese, this curd, and this bread and those. Like these are made up of what? What do you think? Mhm. You have to find your answers and then you have to write in the chat box. Okay, because it is a very interesting question. You have to find it, write it in the chat box. So now we will come to our second picture. Yes, what you can see. What is the second picture showing? Yes, it is a prokaryotic organism. Yes, yes. What else? Yes, it is a simple unicellular prokaryotic organism. This picture is showing. Okay, so now we will see some more details about Monera. Right, so the topic that we are going to study is Monera. So now we will move on ahead. So what are the some characteristics of Monera? This organism also comes under Monera. So some characteristics of Monera are like they do not have defined nucleus. As you can see, there is no nucleus, right? They do not have defined nucleus or any organelles. See, though there are no organelles like endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi bodies, and these organelles are not there. Nor do they have any of them, and they do not even show multicellular features, right? So these are unicellular organisms, and their mode of nutrition. The mode of nutrition of these organisms are they either synthesize their own food, like they are autotrophic, just like the plants, or they get it from the environment, like they are heterotrophic also. So this is the mode of nutrition. So these were the some general features of one of the kingdom Monera, right? So now we will see some more details. Okay, so now coming on to the next slide. Yes, so let's see. Yes, what you can see in this slide. First, there is Monera in the above, right? And Monera is one of the type of Monera is prokaryotes, right? And what are the different types of prokaryotes that come under Monera? Are bacteria, blue-green algae, and mycoplasm. Yes, so these are the different types of Monera that we can find around ourselves, right? And these are only visible through the microscope. So as these are all microorganisms. So now we will solve some questions. Let's see. So these are some true and false questions. Okay, so Monera includes prokaryotes and eukaryotes. True or false? It is false. Yes, very good. It is false because it just contains the prokaryotic organism, unicellular prokaryotic organism. Now coming to the second question. Monera includes examples like blue-green algae and mycoplasma. True or false? Yes, you all answered it correctly. It is true. So now I think you all are clear with the concept. We will move on to the recapitulation part, right? Okay, so now moving on to the recapitulation part. Let's see. So what is evolution according to you? Like, okay, you can write it in the chat box. Yes, I can see the right responses. Yes, evolution is the changes in an organism according to its surrounding that takes place in millions of years is evolution. Yes, very good. Okay, so now coming to the second, why do we use hierarchy of classification? Yes, because it becomes easier to identify the organisms. Method. Okay. Who gave the five kingdom classification? Robert Whittaker. Yes, you all answered it correctly. And now you have to describe Monera. What type of organisms they comes under Monera? Only the prokaryotic organisms. Yes, the prokaryotic organisms they come under Monera. And what all organisms they come? Yes, blue-green algae was there, mycoplasma was there, and some bacteria also. So yes, this was all the recapitulation part. Now coming to your homework. So these are some questions. What you have to do is first you have to make a graph on how coronavirus have been evolved from beginning to till now, right? And then you have to explain the Carolus Linnaeus classification by making a small chart in your notebooks. And you also have to like what are the advantages of classifying organisms. So these three activities that you have to do. First two are the activities and first two are the activities and the first two are the activities and last one is a question. So you have to solve it, right? Okay, so now if you have any doubt, you can ask in the chat box. If not, then we will end our class here. Okay, so now I think you have no doubt. So yes, we will meet again in our next class. So thank you and have a nice day. We will meet in our next class with some more questions.